Photographer's focus captured by escaped flamingo, a chance encounter that stunned wildlife enthusiasts. When wildlife photographer Elliot Mercer left his home early on a mist-filled Tuesday morning, he believed the highlight of his day would be capturing the quiet beauty of Greywater Marsh's migrating ducks. Little did he know that within hours he would be face to face with a creature that had no business being there, a brilliant, coral pink escaped flamingo drifting gracefully across the marsh like a misplaced stroke of paint. The unexpected sighting has since become a viral sensation, drawing attention from conservationists, animal park officials, bird watchers, and ordinary citizens alike. But behind the viral photos lies a deeper story of how one bird, lost and far from home, briefly transformed a sleepy landscape into a stage for an unforgettable encounter. What follows is a 2,500-word deep dive into the event, its background, its impact, and the wider issues it highlights. A morning of fog, silence, and surprise. For Mercer, a 37-year-old nature photographer known locally for his dedication to documenting the marsh ecosystems, dawn is a sacred hour. The morning of the encounter began no differently. He parked his van by the gravel road, slung his equipment over his shoulder, and waded toward the reeds, expecting the usual cast of wildlife, coots, mallards, and the occasional heron. The light was perfect, he recalled during a phone interview. Soft, hazy, exactly the kind of light that makes the world feel like it's holding its breath. He had just adjusted his camera settings when a faint movement caught his eye. Something tall, something gracefully deliberate in its steps. Something bathed not in the subtle tones of the marsh but in blazing pink. At first, I honestly thought I was hallucinating from the cold, Mercer laughed. A flamingo. Here, it didn't make any sense. Yet there it stood, posing, almost theatrically, its slender neck curving like a delicate ribbon, its plumage catching the newborn sunlight with dazzling brilliance. The marsh witnesses an exotic guest. Flamingos are native to warm, shallow wetlands far from Greywater, which rests in a temperate climate where winter winds carry frost across the fields. Their presence in such a region is exceedingly rare, appearing only in captivity, zoos, wildlife parks, or private collections with specialized habitats. Mercer's brain raced with questions, but his instincts as a photographer acted faster. He aimed, focused, and let his shutter burst open. When I heard the first click, the flamingo looked right at me, he said. Almost like it understood the attention it was getting. The flamingo's calmness stunned him further. Instead of fleeing at the disturbance, the bird seemed at ease, comfortably preening, sipping from shallow water, and occasionally stretching its wings in elegant arcs. It was surreal, one of those moments you know you'll never forget. Immediate speculation. Where did it come from? News of the bizarre encounter spread like wildfire after Mercer uploaded a single photograph online later that morning. The image, pale pink reflected across the marsh water like watercolor spilled onto glass, captured global attention. Within hours, wildlife officials began investigating. Early speculation pointed toward Riverside Wildlife Park, located 19 miles south of Greywater. The park houses a small flock of Chilean flamingos and had previously reported minor storm damage to their aviary a week earlier. By noon, the park confirmed that one of their flamingos, nicknamed Coral by keepers, had indeed escaped during the storm. We had hoped she hadn't traveled far, said the park's curator, Drive. Lydia Hart. We were relieved, honestly, to see the photograph. It told us she was alive and unharmed. According to Hart, flooding caused part of the park's enclosure fencing to collapse, giving Coral the opening she needed to slip out undetected during the chaotic storm. Expert insight. How flamingos survive outside their habitat. Many readers wondered how an exotic bird could survive in an environment so different from its natural one. Dr. Hart explained that flamingos are surprisingly resilient. They're strong flyers, she said. A healthy adult flamingo can travel dozens of miles in a single flight. While they prefer warm climates, They can tolerate cooler temperatures for short periods as long as they have access to food and water. Her concern, however, centered on predators, exposure, and nutritional needs. Flamingos are filter feeders. The marsh can't sustain them long term. Wildlife ecologist Professor Daniel Rooks echoed her sentiments, adding that escaped flamingos have been documented worldwide. Every few years, we see reports of flamingos in places they have no business being, he explained. They're wanderers when given freedom, but they rarely survive long without human intervention. The search effort begins. Shortly after confirming Coral's identity, Riverside Wildlife Park began coordinating with local authorities and Greywater Marsh Rangers to retrieve the bird safely. This process, however, is more complex than it sounds. You can't simply walk up to a flamingo and expect it to follow you, said Ranger Supervisor Mark Tennant. They're sensitive, skittish creatures. If startled, they can put themselves in danger. A small search team was dispatched, carrying specialized nets, soft harnesses, and transport crates lined with straw to keep the bird warm. Meanwhile, Mercer, whose image had set the recovery effort in motion, returned to the marsh, this time as an unofficial guide. I didn't want to interfere, he said, but if sharing what I saw helped them find her, I was glad to assist. A photographer turned guide. Mercer retraced his steps with the rangers, pointing out shallow water pockets where the flamingo had lingered and areas of open grass it had walked across. He also helped interpret the bird's behavior through the lens of what he witnessed. She wasn't panicked, he told the rangers. More curious than anything. This observation mattered. Calm animals are easier to approach and less likely to bolt. By early afternoon, the team spotted Coral again, this time standing majestically against a backdrop of reeds as if posing for another photoshoot. Mercer instinctively lifted his camera before remembering he was there for a different purpose. I had to stop myself, he said. Rescue first. Art second. The delicate capture. The rescue team moved slowly, forming a loose semicircle. The goal was not to frighten the bird but to gently guide it toward a quieter corner of the marsh where it could be safely netted. Coral, however, appeared unfazed. She watched us with this serene, almost regal expression, Tennant recalled. Most animals would be confused or frantic. She looked amused. After 20 patient minutes, the team succeeded in slipping a lightweight net around her. Coral resisted only briefly before settling down, her long legs folding neatly beneath her. Mercer described the moment as bittersweet. There was beauty in seeing her safe, he said, but also a strange sadness in watching this unexpected guest leave the marsh. Back to the park. A flamingo's homecoming. Coral was transported back to Riverside Wildlife Park, where keepers greeted her with relief and gentle reassurance. She's in excellent health, Drive. Hart confirmed after her examination. A little tired, but otherwise perfect. The park immediately began reinforcing the damaged enclosure to prevent future escapes. To celebrate Coral's safe return, the park displayed Mercer's photographs, printed and framed, in their visitor center. They credited him not only for his artistry but also for triggering the rescue mission. To us, he's the hero of the story, Hart said. His photo didn't just captivate the world, it helped save a life. Social media frenzy. A flamingo goes viral. Within 24 hours, Mercer's image had been shared more than 600,000 times. Comments flooded in from across the globe. Nature is full of surprises. What a sight. Imagine going out to photograph ducks and finding a flamingo instead. This feels like a scene from a film. Some artists transformed the photograph into digital paintings. Schools used it as part of wildlife lessons. Even travel bloggers began discussing the Greywater region, boosting tourism interest. Mercer, unused to fame, found the attention both flattering and overwhelming. I just took a photo, he insists. She's the real star. Local impact. A marsh suddenly famous. Greywater Marsh. A quiet, under-visited conservation area, experienced an unexpected influx of visitors following the publication of the flamingo story. The local cafe reported a 40% rise in customers. Birdwatchers arrived from nearby counties. Families with children searched the marsh hoping for a glimpse of that famous pink bird, despite knowing she had been returned to the park. It brought life to the area, said cafe owner Margaret Field. We haven't seen this many people since the Wetland Festival 3 years ago. Rangers, meanwhile, used the attention to inform visitors about conservation efforts, emphasizing the marsh's importance for native bird species. It's ironic, Tennant said, that an exotic bird made people more interested in our local wildlife. A deeper message about conservation. While the flamingo's escape ended happily, the incident has sparked larger conversations about animal welfare, enclosure resilience, and how climate-driven weather extremes can disrupt habitats. The storm that damaged the enclosure was described as unusually strong for the season, a trend many experts link to changing climate patterns. When severe weather becomes more common, outdoor animal habitats need to adapt, Professor Rooks warned. The story also highlighted the importance of public involvement in conservation. Without that photo, Hart emphasized, we might not have found her as quickly. Citizen observation is a powerful tool. Elliot Mercer, a photographer forever changed. For Mercer, the experience has reshaped his outlook. I've always loved photographing nature, he said, but this made me realize how interconnected we are with wildlife, even in the most unexpected moments. He has since launched a small exhibition titled, Out of Place, featuring animals photographed in unusual environments. The flamingo is the star centerpiece. He hopes the exhibit will inspire others to appreciate and protect the world around them. A flamingo's brief adventure, a lasting impression. Coral the flamingo spent less than 48 hours in the wild, but her adventure left a lasting mark. A viral photograph, a reinvigorated local marsh, strengthened conservation conversations, and a moment of magic for everyone who saw her. In the end, the story is not just about an escaped flamingo or a lucky photographer. It is about how unexpected beauty can capture the world's attention, reminding us that wonder still exists in the quiet corners of everyday life. As Mercer put it, you go out looking for one thing, and the universe gives you something completely different, something extraordinary. That's the magic of nature.